Learn English. Lily often felt a quiet frustration bubbling within her. English, the global language, seemed like an impenetrable fortress, its gates firmly shut. She dreamed of travel, of connecting with people worldwide, but her limited vocabulary and overwhelming shyness held her back. The thought of speaking English publicly sent a shiver down her spine, making her stomach churn with nervous apprehension and self-doubt. Every day, she'd encounter English words, snippets of conversation on television, or headlines online. They were like whispers from a distant land, alluring yet inaccessible. Lily knew deep down that improving her English wasn't just a hobby. It was a crucial step towards unlocking countless opportunities, both personal and professional. This realization slowly started to fuel her resolve. The internet was awash with advice: learn English fast, or speak like a native in 30 days. Lily felt overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information. Where should she begin her challenging journey? How could she filter through the noise to find practical, actionable steps that truly resonated with her learning style and daily commitments? It was a daunting task. Her biggest fear wasn't making mistakes. It was the fear of even trying. The imagined judgment, the potential for embarrassment, paralyzed her. She longed for a magic formula, a secret trick to bypass the awkward learning phase and instantly gain eloquence. Yet, deep down, she knew true mastery required consistent effort and genuine dedication, not shortcuts. One afternoon, scrolling through a forum, she stumbled upon a simple yet profound piece of advice: start small, start consistent. This resonated with her. It wasn't about instant fluency, but about building habits. It was about incremental progress, bit by bit, day by day, transforming her ambition into a tangible, achievable plan for self-improvement. Lily decided her first mission was to conquer listening. Her ears, she realized, were the gateway to understanding intonation, rhythm, and natural speech patterns. She downloaded several English-speaking podcasts, ranging from simple learning materials to engaging storytelling and news summaries. This marked the true beginning of her transformative journey. She began her listening immersion during her daily commute. Instead of her usual music, she plugged in her headphones, letting the foreign words wash over her. At first, it was a blur, a confusing jumble of sounds. But she persisted, reminding herself that understanding was a muscle, and it needed consistent exercise and patient encouragement to strengthen effectively. The key, she discovered, wasn't just passive listening. It was active engagement. She tried to identify keywords, guess the context from the tone of voice, and even mimic simple phrases she heard. This conscious effort transformed a passive activity into a dynamic, interactive learning experience that greatly accelerated her progress. Movies became her next frontier. She started with familiar films, first with English subtitles, then gradually without. This method helped her connect spoken words with their written forms and understand idiomatic expressions within their natural contexts. It made learning feel less like a chore and more like an enjoyable pastime. News channels presented a different challenge. The speed and complexity of the language required intense focus. She didn't grasp everything, but she picked up recurring vocabulary and improved her general comprehension of various accents. This variety diversified her listening exposure, preparing her for real-world conversations and unexpected linguistic nuances. Her listening skills steadily improved. She started noticing subtle nuances, different pronunciations of the same word, and the natural flow of conversation. The fortress of English was beginning to reveal its intricate design, piece by intricate piece. This progress fueled her motivation to continue her diligent efforts in expanding her language capabilities. Yet, listening was only half the battle. The words were entering her mind, but they weren't effortlessly exiting her mouth. Her tongue felt stiff, her thoughts jumbled when she attempted to form sentences. The bridge between comprehension and production still seemed incredibly vast and daunting to cross with any degree of consistent ease. How to improve your fluency? This question plagued her constantly. She knew she needed to speak, but the fear of making mistakes still lingered stubbornly, a persistent shadow over her aspirations. The idea of talking to herself seemed awkward initially, but she resolved to try anything that might genuinely help her progress forward. She started with simple repetitions, listening to a sentence, then pausing and repeating it aloud, focusing intently on mimicking the intonation and rhythm. It felt strange at first, like talking to an invisible audience, but it was a crucial first step in activating her dormant speaking muscles and preparing them for more complex tasks. Her bathroom mirror became her first, most patient English teacher. Each morning, as she brushed her teeth, she would describe her actions aloud. I am brushing my teeth. This is toothpaste. The water is cold. Simple sentences, but powerful practice for building fundamental conversational patterns. The "start talking at home" mantra became her guiding principle. She labeled objects around her house in English, then practiced saying their names and describing them. Her home transformed into a personal English immersion laboratory, a safe space for experimentation and countless valuable linguistic discoveries. She started narrating her daily activities to herself. I am making coffee. The kettle is boiling. I will add milk. This constant internal monologue in English helped her to think directly in the language, bypassing the need for cumbersome translation and enhancing natural thought processes. Even mundane tasks became opportunities. Folding laundry. This is a red shirt. These are blue socks. Cooking. I need to chop the onions. The pan is hot. Every single moment became a chance to engage with English actively, reinforcing vocabulary and grammar organically. The awkwardness slowly faded, replaced by a growing sense of self-assurance. Her tongue felt less clumsy, her thoughts began to form more coherent sentences. She wasn't fluent yet, but she was definitely speaking more often and with significantly greater ease and reduced hesitation. This continuous, low-pressure practice at home built a foundational level of comfort with spoken English. It was a private arena where mistakes were simply part of the learning process, not public embarrassments, fostering a healthy attitude towards language acquisition and development. The concept of talk in English, just 1 page per day, became her next strategy. She didn't literally talk about a page, but she committed to speaking English for a dedicated, concentrated period each day. It was a measurable goal that provided clear direction and purpose. This meant reading a page from an English book aloud, focusing on pronunciation and intonation. Sometimes she would record herself, then listen back, cringing at first, but slowly identifying specific areas for improvement in her delivery and overall clarity. Other times, it meant writing a short journal entry in English and then reading it aloud to herself. This combined writing practice with speaking, reinforcing new vocabulary and grammatical structures more effectively and solidifying her understanding through active use. She even found short stories online, reading them sentence by sentence, and then attempting to summarize each paragraph in her own words. This pushed her beyond simple reading, demanding active comprehension and verbal articulation of complex ideas. The daily one-page commitment fostered incredible discipline. It turned learning from an abstract goal into a concrete, manageable task. It was small enough not to feel overwhelming, yet consistent enough to yield significant progress over time and build solid habits. Vocabulary acquisition became more natural through this method. When she encountered new words in her reading, she immediately tried to incorporate them into her spoken summaries or descriptions, embedding them deeper into her memory and ensuring active recall. Grammar rules, which once seemed abstract and confusing, began to make more sense as she applied them in her active speaking practice. Seeing and hearing them in context solidified her understanding and significantly improved her accuracy and fluency. Her confidence, once a fragile seedling, started to blossom vigorously. The consistent private practice eroded the fear of speaking. She realized that making mistakes was not a sign of failure, but an essential part of the learning journey itself, leading to growth. The transition from home practice to real-world conversation was still intimidating, but notably less so. She had built a sturdy internal framework of language, ready to be tested in authentic interactions with others, fostering a sense of readiness. She sought out low-stakes opportunities. An online English conversation partner, initially a terrifying prospect, became a comfortable weekly ritual. The initial awkward pauses slowly diminished, replaced by more fluid and natural exchanges and genuine connection. The first time she had a sustained conversation, even a simple one about the weather, she felt an immense surge of pride. It wasn't perfect, but she was understood, and she understood back. It was a tangible breakthrough moment, a true milestone. How to make confidence in speaking? The answer, she realized, wasn't about being perfect. It was about embracing imperfection, about daring to try, and about celebrating every small victory, no matter how minor it seemed initially, building momentum. She started joining online communities focused on language exchange. She participated in voice chats, initially just listening, then contributing short phrases, gradually building up to longer, more complex sentences, and expressing nuanced ideas. Her fear of judgment slowly dissipated as she encountered other learners, all on their own journeys, all making mistakes. It created a supportive environment where errors were seen as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks, encouraging fearless experimentation. She learned to reframe mistakes. Instead of dwelling on them, she viewed them as feedback, opportunities to understand where her knowledge gaps were and how to improve her linguistic precision. This was a powerful shift in her learning mindset. The listen and practice mantra became deeply ingrained. She would listen carefully to native speakers, then actively try to replicate their speech patterns, their natural pauses, and their idiomatic expressions, honing her spoken accuracy. She stopped translating in her head. Instead of thinking in her native language and then converting, she began to think directly in English, even if it meant her thoughts were simpler at first. This was a game changer for her fluency. Fluency wasn't about speaking fast, it was about speaking smoothly, with fewer hesitations and more natural intonation. This realization shifted her focus from mere speed to clarity, coherence, and effective communication, valuing quality over pace. Every day, she pushed her boundaries slightly. If she used 5 new words yesterday, she aimed for 6 today. If she spoke for 10 minutes, she tried for 11. These small, consistent pushes accumulated significant gains over time. The journey wasn't linear. There were days of frustration, days when progress seemed stalled and elusive. But she remembered the advice: consistency over intensity. She kept going, even when motivation waned temporarily, trusting the process. Her listening skills were now sharp. She could follow complex discussions, understand different accents, and even appreciate the humor in English language media. The world of English was fully opening up to her, rich with cultural nuances. Her vocabulary had expanded exponentially. She wasn't just using words, she was using them correctly, in context, expressing nuanced thoughts and opinions with increasing precision and naturalness, truly mastering the language. The awkward pauses were largely gone. Her conversations flowed more naturally, with fewer umps and ahs. She could articulate her thoughts with spontaneity, engaging in genuine, meaningful exchanges, making real connections. Confidence radiated from her when she spoke English. She no longer feared engaging with strangers or participating in group discussions. English had become a tool for connection, not a barrier for communication, empowering her interactions. She found herself volunteering for English-speaking tasks at work, something she would have scoffed at just a few years prior. Her new language skills were opening doors to new professional opportunities and personal growth, expanding her horizons. Travel became an even richer experience. She could navigate foreign cities, order food, ask for directions, and converse with locals, fully immersing herself in different cultures without linguistic limitations, creating unforgettable memories. The journey of learning English had taught her more than just a language. It had taught her resilience, patience, and the power of consistent daily effort. It transformed her into a more confident individual across all aspects of her life. She often looked back at her initial struggles with a sense of gentle amusement. The timid girl who feared speaking even a single word had truly blossomed into a confident, articulate English speaker, an inspiring transformation. Her story became an inspiration to others who felt stuck. She shared her methods, emphasizing the importance of listening, practicing at home, and the one-page-per-day approach for daily engagement, spreading her valuable insights. The confidence wasn't just about English, it permeated other areas of her life. She realized that if she could conquer this, a significant challenge, she could tackle any obstacle with dedication and a methodical approach, feeling truly empowered. Lily understood that learning a language is an ongoing journey, not a static destination. There was always more to learn, new idioms to grasp, new nuances to discover, keeping the process exciting and fresh, never truly ending. But the foundation was strong, unshakable. She had built it brick by brick, word by word, conversation by conversation. The effort had been immense, but the rewards were immeasurable in scope and profound in their personal impact. She could now talk in English with ease, express her deepest thoughts, and connect with people from diverse backgrounds globally. The world had truly expanded for her in ways she couldn't have imagined, bringing immense joy. Her English journey was a testament to the power of commitment and the belief in oneself, even when facing significant obstacles. Every start talking at home session, every listen and practice moment had contributed to her success. So, if you're feeling daunted by the vastness of learning English, remember Lily's inspiring story. Begin by starting small, maintain remarkable consistency, talk in English aloud, perhaps just 1 page per day, or narrate your surroundings. Your confidence will undeniably grow, your listening skills will sharpen profoundly, and your English will ultimately flourish. The power to achieve remarkable fluency is truly within you, patiently waiting to be unlocked.